Hello, everyone, and welcome to another review series with me, Umber Rays. I'm going to be talking about quite a few things today. There's a lot that's happened on the JP side. I've been a little behind because of work. As such, I haven't been able to do some videos that I really want, like talking about the Final Fantasy XVI trailer. And now there's also the brand new Tower series on the JP side, which has some new additional floors to the second tower iteration, and that's also something I need to do. So running behind is not unusual for me, but yeah, been sorry that I haven't been quite on just making a ton of videos lately. Anyway, try to fix that in the future, but let's talk about two new characters and two new vision cards with one new summon. I'm going to try and get through it relatively quick today. I say relatively because, yeah. So let's start with Sakura. Sakura, simply put, is a new tier of mage. I really think that Sakura is one of the most powerful characters, and I say that for a couple of reasons. One, I've seen a few videos put up online of seeing her in action on the JP side, and I think that she is just a character that is both great for farm, great for PvE content, that is challenge content, and also just really great for arena as well, as she can take on basically some arena teams simply by herself, and that's kind of scary. So yeah, taking a look at her, as you can see, this is her basic stats right here. Speed is pretty darn good. HP is not bad, actually. 22 defense and 6 spirit ain't bad either. Some of that, of course, is from the TMR and equipment, but 979 magic with proper equipment, proper Esper, and proper vision card is really quite high. Not the highest magic, but that's not the only thing that we're worried about here. Also, taking a look at her resistance, as you can see, a little bit of a problem with Slash. Strong against Pierce, weak against shooting, neutral against strike, and 15% against magic with this current setup. Basically, she is kind of a character who is very strong against Kain. She is actually brought into the game to specifically be Kain's counter, and she does an incredibly good job at it. So taking a look at her TMR, it's clothing with 422 HP, 12 defense, and 8 accuracy. Ability on it is decrease activation time by 350 for 3 turns. This might be interesting for some kind of powerful archer in the future. It's kind of hard to say at this point, but I think that activation time's not a super big problem. So good, but I can't really think of a great application at this point in time. Regardless, Sakura seems to be really good, but I don't remember if she was rocking the TMR. Master ability is 10% HP. I do believe this is for all light units in the party. This seems to be a new type of ability. Unless it was slightly mistranslated on all the Japanese sites I've been looking at, it should be 10% for every light unit in the party. In the same way that Alum, the Thunder Dragoon that we will be talking about in a short bit, also gives HP to Thunder units. Increase light attack by 15 and defense of 10. So a solid master ability to be sure. Looking at her support, she has a kind of new thing, which is one of her support abilities actually upgrades one of her skill, as well as increasing her agility by 12%. Looking at the rest, she has magic up, she has initial AP, she has magic resistance, and she has spirit and dark resistance too. So a pretty good mix of support skills. Counter abilities basically counter magical damage or damage, and either increase magic, gives her higher evasion, or reduces the damage taken. Take your pick of the 3. All could be useful in the right situation. Taking a look at her main job, she has a really nice ability to give 25% to lightning, light, and dark resistance to a party, and it's an AoE buff, so it's pretty easy to use at the start of the battle, and just make yourself strong against specific types of enemies. She has thunder damage, she has holy damage, she has a dispel of the guts ability, which if you haven't played Brave Exvius, the guts ability is an ability that if you take fatal damage, your character won't die. It's one of the things that has made Kane so strong on the JB side. It's just the fact that he has an ability that allows him to just cast it, he takes fatal damage, and he keeps going. Doesn't prove him, like, it only works once, but it's still proven to be quite powerful at this point on the JP side in the meta, making Kane very meta. This ability just basically cancels it and then does damage, and that is why she is so strong. Upgrading the ability also increases spirit penetration and increases the damage to a maxed out 265 modifier, which is a pretty strong thing. Also should be noted that most of her abilities are AoE, not all of them, but most of them. Some part of her job grants her Protect or Shell, pretty not exciting. On her Red Mage side, she does have a heal, more damage while decreasing spirit, 25% chance to inflict sleep with sleep spell. Sleeple, I think it is on the global side. And dispel all elements with Isuna. Okay, not great. She doesn't have Magic Jammer in her Red Mage, but Red Mage will give her more AP to start. Continuing on into her last move, which is the same type as Summer Ketone, has an ability that increases jump and move, has damage ability with stun chance, has a damage ability with hit chance of 100%, which is really great. Means that she can sure hit a single unit. 25% chance to inflict confusion, damage and move to a specific panel, and increase magic and spirit penetration. So yeah, probably going to be run the Oracle Speaker job, her tertiary job. But yeah, she's really powerful, and her Limit Burst also gives her Darkness Killer. So for all dark enemies in the future, I think that Sakura is going to be an incredibly strong unit to use, and I'll give a little more thoughts a little bit later. Because next we got to move to our next character, the lower rarity character, but not one you should be ignoring. So this is Alum. She is a Thunder-based Dragoon with 3 really good jobs. She has Dragoon, Assassin, and Dual Gunner. Actually a pretty great little thing. TMR is a spear that increases defense penetration by 15. Not a bad TMR to get your hands on, actually, especially if you like Dragoons. If you are a Dragoon person like me, or you like units that use spears, more defense spears, cool. Master ability is that 10% HP up that I talked about earlier, increase lightning attack by 15, attack resistance by 10, and evasion rate by 10. So pretty good for a MR. Should be noted that her shards are double cost, much in the same way that Salir is. Don't know what that is about Thunder MR units or /SSR units. Looking at her resistance, she's pretty good against shooting, and she's pretty good against magic, so I think we have an interesting case here that this might be another top-tier MR unit. Again, Thunder. What's up with that? But continuing on, we also have, she has her support abilities increase jump, evasion rate, HP, missile attack, acquired AP, or agility and defense penetration. Agility and defense penetration and acquired AP sound kind of like the ones that I would want to run if I did have her. Counter abilities, chance to counter all damage and absorb HP, standard Dragoon stuff. Counter all damage and increasing evasion rate and CT. And last but not least, chance to counter physical damage with shooting type damage. So, interesting. For shooting job, I don't think you're ever going to necessarily run it, but if you did need someone to pair with the brand new Nibble, I want to call her Nibble so much, the new Thunder Archer, and also with Frederica, there is starting to be a really good Thunder Gunner team. She also has a couple of damaging abilities that are pretty common with the Double Gunner, so there is possible application for this. Assassin is the one that would really strongly think about, just because she has the steal ability. She can inflict poison, which is proving to be useful. Decrease defense when attacking from behind. Absorb AP, crit chance, 25% chance to inflict paralysis. And the AoE diamond pattern ability, but thunder-based. Looking at her Dragoon, she has basically lots of different jumps with good amount of rage, good passives, good modifiers on all of them. So I think that Alum is actually a really Great Dragoon. But with that being said, let's see. I can't promise that this is going to run properly, but let's take a look at Sakura while I basically get... Oh, shoot. I didn't prepare stamina for this. How embarrassing. Anyway, overall, my thoughts on this banner is it's an incredibly strong banner. If it wasn't for the fact that TGS was coming really, really soon on the JP side, and there's probably going to be some big announcements. There could be new story characters with TGS right around the corner. There is the guess that we are probably going to see a collaboration announced on the JP side. I would put pretty good odds on it for a couple of reasons. One, it's been a while since the last collaboration we've seen. We've heard hints that they are working on new collaborations. So with the JP side stuff, it's really hard to just not say go for Sakura because she is particularly pretty darn strong and pretty darn tough. So I would really, really recommend thinking about going for her if you save up your resources later and you're willing to skip Kane. That does mean skipping the event point on the JP side. So that could be a little bit of a tough choice. But both Alum and Sakura are incredibly strong. I think that Sakura is going to be just the new kind of a particular newer, stronger version of a specific Earth Mage, who I can't pronounce her name, so let's just call her She Who Shall Not Be Named. That's right, Voldemort. Alright, but all joking aside, we also need to take a look at two new Vision cards. First of all, the Dark Helena card. Now, this was a little bit of a spoiler, but I think it's appeared on the global story. Not entirely sure. 15% agility is the party ability, with 9 aim for the granted ability to the specific unit. Long story short, this card is a non-limited version of the House of Belluo card, the card from the Final Fantasy Tactics that so many people were going gung-ho about, and probably spent a good amount. The big difference here is the Vision ability. The Vision ability are the big things for new Vision cards. And there could be more stuff to do with this in the future. But these Vision abilities basically level up as you level the card, and this card is going to be particularly strong. It is an ability that does small damage AoE, but it reduces units' ability to withstand AoE attacks. So this is just really good. If you think about Sakura here, who has just a lot of AoE attacks, or you think of just a ton of units out there who have a lot of AoE attacks, and the fact that enemies seem to be building up resistance more and more on that in my new tower video, which I'll be recording later. Anyway, this Vision card is very strong. It's straight power creep on the Final Fantasy Tactics speed card. It isn't necessarily a thing that you need to go for right now. Again, first year anniversary is coming up really soon, and I do think we're going to see a lot of strong new espers added that are just more general elemental. I haven't even talked about Leviathan yet, but I can spring it up a little bit to do with the brand new Vision card for the Ice Bird, Glacial, the Glacial Bird, which comes from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. That was a trial boss. Appears in a Vision card and as a summon if you get the Vision card. Party ability and granted ability are both ice attack up. So this is all for pushing ice units to be much stronger in this Vision card. And sure, if ice is your element, if you got Rosa, if you got all of that, I think getting this card seems like a pretty important thing. The Icebird Summon 2 is a particularly nice thing because it works with just all ice units. Again, we seem to be seeing this changeover here where we are looking at summons that focus on specific elements and upping the elemental damage of those type of characters, rather than in the past where we've seen elemental summons that are very focused on specific damage types. This seems to be the way that they are evolving, so I do think it is important. The Icebird Summon also has a hit chance set to 100%, so it ignores all evasion on enemies. It has a crit chance of minus 15%, and it has a 30% chance to inflict stop. So very nice summon ability. Think that this could be quite useful in the future, depending on enemy resistances, but probably not too worth going crazy. Again, I think the really strong here is the fact that the bird has 11% attack on its Esper board, but then continues to get more ice. Oh, sorry, 15% attack and a good amount of increased ice attack. For a physical ice unit, such as Victoria, such as Agrius, who has, physical, great physical attacks as well, the Ice Bird and the Ice Vision Bird Vision card, very strong combination for ice elemental characters. So I think that's really, really good. And fire units are still pretty limited, so there is a good chance that you still just get really good value off of this. So yeah, long story short, I think that both the brand new I think that both of these brand new vision cards as well are pretty darn strong, but all of these banners, while being really great without having the, foresight and potentially have just gotten more recent characters, kind of difficult to build all of this, especially because we already know that there's going to be some kind of Halloween event. I at least expect Halloween vision cards, if not a Halloween character. And again, wouldn't it just be perfect if we went beginning of October, collaboration into, God willing, maybe even Final Fantasy VII. Shouldn't say God willing. But anyway, into Halloween, into the 1-year anniversary with, I don't know, a Dark Helena, King Mont, the list goes on and on, not even skipping Bahamut as well. There's a lot of potential stuff in the future, so yeah, I'm saying this is probably you should be careful with what you spend. But yeah, if you wanted to go on this banner, definitely go for it. On global, you might want to just save for the future. Anyway, so that's basically everything in this review. If you have anything that you think about Sakura or these vision cards, or you potentially saving for them in the future, trying to get through the end of this video, thank you very much for watching. Take care. See you next time. Oh, leave it in the comments, of course.